This is Lenny Rosenberg, the now infamous $15 an hour minimum wage opponent, who was the owner of a legendary Los Angeles deli. Lenny was the self-proclaimed expert on minimum wage, promising to fire his employees a few years ago because he claimed an increase in the minimum wage was going to force him and other restaurant owners out of business. Well, both happened. Lenny got rid of employees and eventually had to get rid of his restaurant. This could be karma, as thousands of YouTube bloggers blasted him in the comment section of our original report for his egomaniacal, annoying, narcissistic personality and for not really comprehending why people need a living wage, whatever that wage should be. Now we revisit Lenny Rosenberg at his new restaurant, Marmalade, located in Santa Monica, California. What makes you an expert on minimum wage?
The reason why I'm an expert at minimum wage is because I've been owning and selling and buying retail restaurants for the better part of 30 years. No one knows it better than me. I'm the Michael Jordan of the restaurant business. We're at $15 an hour minimum wage right now. Now they're talking $20 and beyond. Where does it end? This is ridiculous. You see how many restaurants have closed over the past 5-6 years? Not just restaurants, but just business in general.
With all due respect, you claim that you're an expert in the restaurant business. How much of an expert can you be? You lost your last restaurant because you chose to fire employees because of a minimum wage increase. I know you have this new restaurant. I don't know if that makes you an expert.
Actually, you're 100% wrong. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've had over 50 locations. What I do is I flip stores. I'm the Michael Jordan of the restaurant business, but I'm the Michael Jordan also because I know how to flip a store. I know how to buy and sell a store. My last store, Lenny's, I flipped that. Of course, it had to close because of minimum wage. That definitely hurt me, but I was able to flip it onto a new buyer. Same thing I do with all my restaurants. Minimum wage was meant for the entry-level employee. It was not meant for a family to support themselves. And now that's what the government wants. So where it comes to Lenny's Deli, where we have 12,000 square feet, we have rent that's exasperating beyond belief, and I had over 100 employees. You tell me, who else is going to be able to sustain life in that kind of a restaurant environment?
To be fair, obviously you deserve to make a good living. You're a business person. With that said, do business people, do restaurant owners to some degree have a responsibility to their workers to try to give them a livable wage?
Great question. Absolutely, positively, 1,000%, as I always say. The employee needs that minimum wage raise. It needs the extra money, but not the way the state of California has done it. Absolutely not.
You have concerns about how this is going to affect folks nationwide.
It's going to be a travesty. You're going to see millions of people out of work. You're going to see thousands and thousands of businesses close. I mean, our only hope is if Trump does the job he's supposed to do, which I believe he will, and veto this whole bill.
Is Trump helping your cause?
Absolutely.
How so?
Listen, he's for the small businessman. Who would know better? He's the greatest entrepreneur that ever lived, and now he's the president of our United States.
Just having you say that, you have to know people are going to be livid when you associate yourself and your business with President Trump. Better or for worse, whatever Trump is, good or bad, you already make enemies for yourself, unfortunately.
Let them hate me, because the hated ones are the best ones. I tell it like it is. Hey, I'm the Michael Jordan of the restaurant business. Who's going to know better?
What do business owners need to do then to sustain their business if there is a minimum wage, say $15, eventually even $20 an hour?
Only the smart ones are going to survive, that's for sure. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be a near impossible environment. In my opinion, the government's going to realize their mistakes, but it's going to be too late at that point. Massive unemployment, massive inflation. I don't know who's going to be able to survive at that point.
I was reading some of the comments from our past story a few years ago. The YouTube bloggers were incensed at you. You were arrogant. You were narcissistic. All you cared about was yourself. You were rich. You didn't care about the working folks.
Hey, if I'm not narcissistic, if I'm not arrogant, if I'm not important to everyone, those workers won't have a job. I have to be that way so I stay in business and so they get paid and they have a job.
If there are more minimum wage increases in the future, Are you going to go back to square one and fire employees here and fire employees at your other business?
I'll fire every one of my employees if I have to make a point, not only to make my business profitable, but to prove to the government that this is how it has to be. Life is not fair. Join the crowd. Actually, there'll definitely be more minimum wage increases. I don't see it stopping at $25 an hour. I see a $30 minimum wage. I see a $50 sandwich because of that. And yes, I might have to fire more employees. Now you can be a dishwasher and make $15 an hour minimum wage. In the past, it used to be a professional cook made $15 an hour minimum wage. So a lot of restaurants and a lot of businesses in general are going out of business. It's a small businessman that keeps the economy rolling. That's something that the government just doesn't understand.